Stay connected to your project teams anywhere, anytime.
Electrical's 10 minutes ahead of you.
Not for long.
Huh, you caught up.
I always do.
Start collaborating. Download a trial of Bluebeam Review for 30 days at bluebeam.com/collaborate.
As much as everyone loves the way these halls look, the design doesn't automatically make great sound. Perfect acoustics are not as easy as it looks, according to one of our resident experts.
Matthew, you're an acoustician, which means your job is to make sure spaces like this sound great. Now, wood must be real helpful for that, right?
Well, wood's great for making an instrument out of because it can flex and resonate with sound. In a concert hall, we don't want the walls to flex and resonate. We want them to reflect sound. So what they've done here is built a concrete wall and then laminated the wood to it to make it very stiff so that it reflects sound instead of flexing.
What other things can we do to improve sound?
A very important thing is to make the hall very quiet. And part of doing that is isolation. So we build the hall as a whole separate structure isolated within the main building by taking the hall and putting it on big springs like this that can allow the entire concert hall to float inside of the main building. In this case, instead of using a steel spring, they've used a neoprene pad like this but much larger to float the hall off the structure.
And what about the form? How does the form affect the sound quality?
Well, the form's very important because that decides how sound will move within the space. The traditional concert hall space is a shoebox, where the musicians are at one end, and the long, narrow space has walls that reflect sound back into the audience. In this hall, this doesn't look like a traditional concert hall, but they've picked up a lot of the design elements of a traditional shoebox. We have these long parallel sides to reflect sound back into the audience. We have this wall behind the orchestra to reflect sound forward. And where the ceiling has this dramatic slope and would naturally reflect sound away from the audience, they've augmented with a second ceiling that brings sound forward into the audience, but also back down into the musicians so they can hear themselves when they're playing.